In this video, we'll discuss two of the most important objectives in prospecting and cold calling. And you'll learn how to be less frustrated by rejection, better informed about your customer supply chain, learn more about when you should follow up, but most importantly, how to turn more of your prospects into customers. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. As I mentioned, in this video, we're going to discuss two major objectives in prospecting: getting information and getting business. Most newer brokers and rookies will approach prospecting from a single mindset. How do I get more of what I want? How do I get more loads, more shipments, more freight so that I can earn more money? What's in this next call for me, right? And the outcome is usually the same, right? Zero. What's the outcome from the shipper or prospect's point of view? Another irritating cold call from someone that wants something from me. Let me ask you this. What thoughts do you have when you're cold call for a product or service? Are you really excited to drop whatever you are doing so that you can assist some stranger with something they need? Yeah, me neither. That's why this is not a very effective approach. What I'm going to discuss is how to get something that is far more beneficial to you and will help you get more customers. It will also make your calls last a little longer and leave your prospects wanting to continue to talk to you. Or, at the very least, they're not going to run in the other direction the next time they see your phone number on their caller ID. It's prospecting for information. The next time you're on a prospecting call, treat it like you're investigating a story or you have to write a paper on it, right? Think of prospecting like a detective trying to uncover the mysteries of your shipper's supply chain. You know, when you're asking questions that are less focused on what you want, the more likely you are to have a real conversation that's going to result in building some rapport. But how are we going to do this? Well, it's much easier than you think. First, you're going to start by giving them something of interest, like what is in it for them, right? Lead with maybe the fact that you're delivering trucks into their zip code weekly, right? You've got a customer that ships into their area. It could be that you share a customer in common. It could be that you're an expert in the commodity that they ship and are very well versed in the common issues when transporting it, right? What really matters is that you aren't leading by telling them about you and your company. They don't know you and certainly don't care who you work for until you've given them a reason to care, something that's in it for them. Now, you're going to want to do something that's a little counterintuitive. Tell them you're not sure if you're a fit to work together, that you think it's worth a conversation, but aren't certain you'd actually be a fit to work together. What this does is it relieves some of the tension in the call. Because let's be honest, if you cold called them, they know you want something. In sales, this technique is known as going for no. What you're doing is you're releasing the pressure that is inherent to a sales call. Now, after you've pushed back a little, you want to ask some very general, high-level questions about them and their industry. Something like this. Hey, Paul, is it getting pretty busy this time for you this year? Or, is this a slower season for you? I'm just curious how things have been since the pandemic and lockdown. Are most of your staff back in the office and full-time now? Now, what do all of these questions achieve? They help you and the prospect get into the habit of answering your questions, right? It gets them more comfortable with talking and having that back and forth. It brings their guard down. And that is really your first objective in a sales call. It's not to get business, it's to achieve some rapport. No one is going to be honest with you until they feel comfortable talking to you and have at least some trust established. Remember that it's going to take between 8 to 12 conversations with a prospect before you'll be doing business together. So why are you trying to get them to give you freight or any business if you've only spoken to them once, right? Or twice? This is where so many brokers go wrong. They are prematurely asking their partner's hand in marriage, right? on the second or third date. It's way too early to be talking about marriage and children if you just met. So stretch out the amount of time you'll be speaking with them, something closer to like 30 to 45 days. This is going to help tremendously in a few different ways. First of all, you're not going to be as frustrated being rejected on every call you make because you're not asking for something you shouldn't expect. Just like walking around a nightclub on a busy Friday night asking every single person you have an interest in, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Secondly, you're going to learn more about your prospect along the way. You'll learn when their busy season is, when they are slow, and when they actually are most likely to need your help. Third, it will also give you the information you need to determine when is the best time to follow up. You don't want to be following up asking for freight if it's the slowest time of year for them and they're barely moving anything. With the information you're learning from your calls, you'll be better informed to when it will be appropriate to actually follow up. And finally, it will help turn more of your prospects into customers because you'll have much better rapport established along the process. For more tips and training, be sure to watch our weekly podcast on our channel and check out the description links to group and private coaching. Because remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.